Good Tuesday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and this is your outlook for July 3rd, 2014. And much like the day on Wednesday, we're going to have another wash, rinse, repeat day. It looks like on Thursday, only the emphasis today is going to be a little bit more on the flood potential with these thunderstorms with very high precipitable water amounts available for the atmosphere to tap into. And we have a tropical connection which is associated with Tropical Storm Arthur. It actually, at the time you're watching this video, might have already been upgraded to a hurricane. We do expect that to happen at some point on Thursday. It's very close right now at the time this the video was recorded to a hurricane status. It's just below the minimum threshold for a hurricane at the moment. But we're going to put this in motion here. This is actually looking at Thursday morning, but watch as we get to the afternoon, showers and thunderstorms increase, and by the time you get to the evening hours, look at all the tremendous rainfall, and you can definitely see a tropical connection here. There's a connection. Here's your tropical system here, and of course a tropical feed of moisture going right up into our area here. Some very heavy rainfall expected with some of these thunderstorms today. So I do think the flash flood potential, although we had it yesterday, we're going to have that again today, but even more emphasis on that today. So as far as severe weather goes, I think your biggest threat's going to be number one, flash flooding. Number two, we're going to still keep gusty winds in the threat here for over a large area, and that is because you're going to have a lot of that those winds that are aloft. They're going to be transported down to the surface with these heavy rainfalls. So we're going to be talking about water-loaded downdrafts as part of the severe threat on Thursday. And also we're going to be into getting into the lightning again. Probably not as intense as it was on Wednesday, but still pretty moderate amount of lightning around with these thunderstorms. So again, we have very high dew points, tropical connection here. So look for those. As long as you have enough instability in there, you could get some pretty good lightning light show out of this too. So in that order, those are probably your three threats. The one thing I will take out of the threat today is probably the hail and the tornadoes. We don't have a lot of dry air aloft fueling the storms, and so even at initialization, I really don't see too much in the way of hail. Wouldn't be surprised to see hail up to pea size, but it's going to be very, very isolated, and less than 5% of the area will see hail, and tornadoes are almost non-existent because we have basically one direction of winds coming in, and we have one direction and not rotating. We're talking about straight line winds versus a rotating wind here. Now what's going on here is we have a cold front that's going to be pushing through. This cold front is actually going to push very slowly to the southeast, but it's going to end up steering this tropical system. We do think this thing is going to come up over either over the Outer Banks of North Carolina or very close to it, and then take a path out this way as this cold front's pressing east. It's actually going to force it to the east here. Now we're going to before we get into that, we're going to get into the NAM high-res future simulated radar. This is looking at Friday afternoon, and we're looking at, or excuse me, Thursday afternoon. I'm sorry, jumping days here. I went the weekend, I think. Here is the a storm starting to fire over south central PA and northern Maryland at this point. Another line coming ahead of the cold front here by just to the west of State College at this point. I'm going to put this in motion. You can see what this is going to do. Start off as supercell structures again, but I do think it's going to end up congealing into a line segment here and bring in some very heavy rainfall. And this is going to get worse before it gets better. We're going to go a little bit further yet, and you can see even more heavy rain coming in with these storms here. And there's just a tremendous amount of rainfall here coming in with these thunderstorms as we get into the evening hours. So it's going to be another rough late afternoon and evening here, it looks like, with these thunderstorms. This is very slowly going to push to the east here. But I do think it does, and by the time we get after midnight, we do start seeing some break in the action again, much like we had yesterday. Now, as we get into, I want to get into the tropical storm. This is Tropical Storm Arthur, and it's expected to become a Category 1 hurricane here. We did change our projections slightly, but as this moves to the north here, it's going to come very close to the Outer Banks, if not cross the Outer Banks of North Carolina here, before it takes a path out to sea here. And here's that image here off the NAM showing that right along the outer, right over the Outer Banks of North Carolina here. And then at this point, it's going to take off to the northeast. May come close to hitting a Category 2 strength here before it takes off here. There's still uncertainty, some uncertainty involved with that. Every time you have a system that's in this Gulf Stream, these waters are very warm in the Gulf Stream, and once you get a system that's tightly wrapped, if it doesn't have enough, if it keeps the dry air out of the system and stays tightly wrapped here, this can really blow up very quickly. So I would not be surprised to see this get to a Category 2. In fact, we do have a Category 2 as it exits North Carolina, but once it gets out of that Gulf Stream, and as northeast, we think it weakens into a tropical storm as it heads out. So we'll go over to the severe and tropics page. This is a current satellite image of Arthur, and it's looking pretty healthy here at this hour. But that's going to move up towards North Carolina in the overnight hours, and then we're probably going to come through here late Thursday night or very early Friday morning. It'll probably cross over the Outer Banks. Here is our call on this system here. Of course, currently a tropical storm, expecting it to be a Category 1 hurricane by tomorrow afternoon, or by Thursday afternoon, and then may get up to close to or getting into Category 2 strength just around the Outer Banks or just to the northeast of it before it starts to weaken as it gets out of the Gulf Stream waters and heads out to sea. So we're not expecting impacts for our area, except for maybe some clouds early to start on Friday. And here's a look at that system as it's pulling away. Again, we're going to have some cloud, maybe a shower right along the immediate beaches here down here, but I think you're going to have clouds to start here, and then you're going to have improving conditions as the day wears on. So Friday afternoon from northwest to southeast, we will be improving. This high pressure that's anchored over the Great Lakes is going to slide to the southeast and is going to be in control of our weather for the weekend. So from late Friday through Sunday, actually, it's going to be a low humidity, very nice weekend. Temperatures starting off slightly below normal, but then moderating toward near normal by the time we get to Sunday. And going a little bit further, we'll take this out of here. Here's a high pressure sitting right over top of us. Just a gorgeous weekend coming up. I don't know what it is with the weekends here, but we're now working on either 8 or 9 consecutive weekends of just fantastic weather. And it's not even just that it's clear. I mean, we've had these clear, low humidity weekends. It hasn't been oppressively hot. It hasn't been too cold. It's just been perfect. So maybe it's payback for this rough winter. I'm not sure. As we get a little bit further in time here, this high pressure is going to sink down to the southeast, and that's going to allow, as we get into Monday and Tuesday, the temperatures to increase again. I think we're going to be flirting with 90 degrees once again as you get into that time frame until eventually a cold front's going to come through, and that's not expected until we get into later Tuesday. Could have some showers and thunderstorms with that as it moves through. Right now, it's too early a call to say whether it'll be severe or not, but we'll tackle that when it gets here. Enjoy the weekend in the meantime, and we'll keep an eye on Arthur, and of course follow the Facebook page and the latest updates on Twitter as we'll pass any warnings that come across for severe thunderstorm warnings if they are needed today. And we'll rapidly update the Facebook page as needed with any new information with severe weather on your Thursday. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Marchich. That is your outlook for July 3rd, 2014. Have a great Thursday.